Welcome back, everyone. In our last video, we typed out this new overloaded create action. What we want to do now is use it so that we can see this in action, but no pun intended. We need to be able to understand how these overloads work, and it'll make more sense once we actually utilize them inside of our category action creators. So inside here, I am going to now continue using create action. But what I'm also going to do is I am going to update this action file so that it works with Typescript. And here is where we're going to modify the idea of this code a little bit. So first things first, what we need to do is first modify this file so it's a TS file. So let's go into our folder and rename this so that it's .ts. And now what we're going to do is utilize these errors and these underlines so that we know what new types that we have to create. The first thing we are going to do is we know that we need a categories array. Categories array, as we know, is inside of our database and it has a specific shape. So we need to type this. So here inside, when you think about your category item is a specific type that has specific properties on it. So here I'm going to create that type category. And what it is equal to is an object that has a title, which is a string. It has an image URL, which is also a string. And then it has an items array. This items array contains our category items. So we actually need to make that. So I'm going to say export type category item. This is equal to an object that has number. It has image URL, which is a string. It has the name, which is a string. And then it has the price, which is also a number. So this category item is going to be the type of our items inside of the category. So now that we have these types, let's import them into our category action file. So first we'll import category and category item, and we'll use them in order to type out these action creators. The first thing that we need to do is we need to actually create action types for each of these. And we already have those action types created. We have the action and we have action with payload. Because this one produces an action, but this one produces an action with payload. Now again, remember, these actions are unique in the sense that their types are tied to whatever this type is, and then the payload is tied to whatever the payload of this return is going to be. So here, in order for us to type these actions, we'll say export type, and let's type fetch category start first. So we're saying we have a type of action called fetch categories start. This is equal to action, and this action gets passed category actions type dot fetch categories start. So now this action type, we need to say from this function, that's what you're returning. So whenever this function gets called, this action creator, notice that what you're guaranteed to get back is the action of fetch category start. So we're going to repeat this for the other two. We're going to say export type fetch categories success. This is equal to action with payload because again, we are getting a categories array and then we're setting that as the payload. So here I'm going to say categories action types dot fetch category success, and what we receive is a category array. Now similarly, I'm going to need to type this parameter and also tell this fetch category success action creator that you're going to create, of course, the fetch category success action type. So now fetch category success receives a categories array of type category array, fetch category success. The thing is, if you hover over this create action, what you will see is that create action here is inferring those types. you'll notice that what it produces is indeed that action with payload type. Notice how the top definition is create action, but that third line, action with payload of type categories action types dot fetch category success and category array, that is what it gives us back. Similarly, this top one, create action, notice how it instead gives us back the action of categories action types dot fetch category start. So this is how that overload is working. The last one we need to create is the fetch categories failed. And this is equal to an action with payload, categories action type, dot fetch categories failed, and then an error. And now we know that we receive an error, and here we'll just say fetch categories failed. And there we go. We've now typed our action creators. Actually, we didn't even need the category item. So let's not import that because we don't need it. So now that we have these three action types, these are going to be the three action types that our reducer can only accept. So in order for us to do that, we want to actually create a union. So here I'm going to say export type category action. And here this is equal to fetch category start, union, fetch category success, union, fetch categories failed. So if we save this now, this category action is what we are going to bring into our category reducer. So first, we need to convert this over to a Typescript file. And now what we're going to do is we are going to import in category action from our category action file. And what we need to do now is we need to figure out how to utilize this category action and pass it as the action type here. This is where you're actually going to use that as keyword. So here we're saying, hey, this action that you receive is only going to be one of these three action types. Now, this pattern is called a discriminating union. Essentially, this union type that we've created for category action is discriminatory because it says that I only want to accept actions of these three types. This reducer only responds to those actions. If you try and call any other type inside of this definition, I'm going to throw you an error because I know this action should only be one of these three types. This is actually a very common pattern you'll see inside of TypeScript-enabled Redux projects. But this alone is slightly problematic, and we will discuss that after we've typed out the rest of this reducer. So there's a long way to go, but at least so far, we are now seeing the fruit of our labor in typing out our action creators and our actions. In the next video, we will continue typing out this reducer file. And we're going to start by typing out this category's initial state. So our state value here. So that's what we're going to do in the next video. I'll see you there.